Hey, welcome back. Hope you're having a great day. Even though it feels like the end of the season, well, technically it is, nurseries and garden centers are having their clear out big sales. So I'm super excited to share with you some of the deals I scored this end of season sale. So if you're new here, I am a flower farmer and gardener enthusiast, and I just love to share my journey here on YouTube. So let's get into what I found here at the garden center for a good price. And then at the end of the video, I will show you my plan for my new garden, and hopefully in a future video, I'll show you the actual planting and design of the future garden that I'm planning. Okay, so here is a 9-bark. I have 2 of these. I believe they're called Darts Gold, Physocarpus, and these don't get to be as big as some of the 9-barks. I believe just about 4 or 5 foot tall and wide, and these go down to zones 2, which is incredible. I just love the leaf color. You can see it's starting to get a little bit more gold, but based on the name, I'm assuming that they always have that little sort of gold tinge to them. So really a nice plant. So I picked up 2 of these. So I usually don't share prices because it's so subjective to the area you live in. Everybody has different prices no matter where they live. But these I will share because it was just such a great deal. Not to give you any gardening envy. So these were $30 and they were 75% off. So that would be about $7. That's insane. So I thought, why not get this great plant? I do notice that deer browse a little bit on 9-barks in my area, but I do have an area that I'm thinking they don't really visit as often. So I'm going to tuck those in there. Okay, and now I have some burning bush. So I also have 2 of these. Again, great deal, so why not? So this is the Fireball Burning Bush by Proven Winners. It gets to be 5 to 7 foot tall and wide, and it goes down to zones 4. I had one of these at our old house actually, and it was such a beautiful color in the fall. And another good reason to shop right now is to see the fall color that you will get when you're purchasing your plants. So another good score, and I'm really happy to plug these in somewhere into my yard. Now this is a real specimen tree. I already have one of these near my pond, and I love it. It has done so well for me. Again, I bought that one on sale too, but I think it might have been 40% off. This one I got 75% off, $150. So what a score, what a great price. It's the only way I will ever buy these sort of specimen evergreens. Otherwise, it's just so expensive, and you never know if, you know, an animal will wreck it, or you plant it wrong, or you get an extreme weather temperature and it dies. I'd rather buy them on sale. So this is a weeping blue spruce, and it says number 5. I'm not sure what that means. So it's Picea pendula, the blues. So it gets to be about 5.5 foot high and 6.5 to 8 foot wide. So it sort of has this spreading tendency. My mom actually has one of these, and it does really well in her area. So it sort of has this weeping look, but then it starts to spill out around the ground. Really, really beautiful plant. And it goes down to zones 2. Tremendously cold hardy, beautiful specimen evergreen. Now this tree was a score. This is a weeping Norway spruce. At the garden center, they thought that it was I want to say a Nootka cypress, which are not as cold hardy. This one is definitely a little bit more cold hardy, I think down to zone 4, and it only gets to be about 6 or 8 foot high, so it's perfect for where I want to put it. Again, I'll show you at the end of the video where I'm going to tuck it in. But I just love this unique sort of sculptural look in the garden. Yes, it's a tree, but it's also a piece of art, so I'm really excited about this. And again, at a huge discount, this was only about $55. Otherwise, it would be over $200 to buy by itself. So I definitely scored with this tree. Now this tree is a little bit more of your average run-of-the-mill dwarf Alberta spruce, but it's definitely a nice addition to the future garden that I'm planning. So I've already shared with you some fall gold, some reds, some blues, and now this is my green interest. Dwarf Alberta spruces don't get too big, so it's a lovely addition. Again, cold tolerant, it goes to zone 3, and I can't see this getting more than, I think, 5 or 6 feet high. We have natively a lot of firs and pines and that type of thing. This just gives us that look of that beautiful fir look, even though it's a spruce, but just more in a miniature size. So I think it'll be a great addition to sort of add some interest to the garden. Okay, here's another tree that I might not have purchased. I hope you can see it in the frame. I might not have purchased this if it wasn't on sale. Again, this is almost a $200 plant, and I got it 75% off. So this is a Weeping Caragana number 10. It gets to be 4 to 5 foot high and about 4 foot wide, and it goes down to zone 2. So it's almost there. If we're looking at it, minus the pot, it's probably only got maybe another foot to go, but it's just going to sort of bulk out and become this great big umbrella plant. So my neighbor actually has this, and it is doing so well for her. She was shopping with me actually, and she convinced me to get this. She just thought it would be such a great interest and just a different, unusual texture for my garden. Really excited about this. So there are yellow pea flower like blooms in the summer, and then small green leaflets that turn yellow in the fall. And you can see they're starting to turn now, and it's just such a beautiful, beautiful plant. All right, and now I have 2 coral berries. They are proud berries. They go down to zone 3, and they get about 3 to 4 foot tall and wide. And the berries were obviously the reason I chose these. Super beautiful. We actually have snowberries that grow natively in the area. So I'm thinking these will be a super, super easy shrub to grow since they are very similar to our native snowberries. Okay, so that was my one haul from a local nursery, and then here we have some more on this other side that I will go through. I have a couple Annabelle hydrangeas. They seem to do very well for me. Of course, they do have this sort of weeping tendency. They don't have very upright stems, but I think it's worth it. I think they're a beautiful hydrangea. I really love their flower clusters. Of course, every hydrangea is very different, but Annabelle hydrangeas seem to be one of my favorites, and they grow really well for me. So this is Pinkarella smooth hydrangea. So it does have that sort of pink texture. And these get to be about 4 to 5 feet tall and wide and go down to zones 3. So I have a couple of those hydrangeas. And then another 9 bark. This one doesn't look as great, but it has been in its pot for probably too long. So this is honeycomb 9 bark, and it gets to be about 6 by 5 or 7, 5 to 7, so a varying width and height, and goes down to zone 3. Again, it doesn't look too great right now, but I think once it's in soil and with more nutrients, it'll do a little bit better. And then I have 2 of these dogwoods. These are neon burst dogwoods, and they get to be a little bit smaller than your average dogwood. But again, the red twigs are just such a beautiful treat in the winter months, and dogwoods do really well for us in our area. So 2 of those, beautiful fall colors starting to come by. And then here we have, again, like I said, I've got lots of Douglas firs growing in the area, and I love that texture, but they get so big. I feel like this sort of mimics the look, but it's a little bit more of a contained version of that. So this is a North Pole white spruce. Again, it was on a good sale. It goes down to zone 2, and it only gets to be about 10 to 12 foot high. So like I said, it gives us that look of the native evergreens we have in the area, but just a little bit more contained. Really love this tree. Okay, and then I have 3 of these. They are blue arrow junipers. And then if you saw my new garden that I just added by the greenhouse, I've got 3 of these. So I'm thinking this will sort of give me a similar look if I have 3 of them planted in another area. And these get to be about 8 foot high, 4 foot wide, so they're a smaller evergreen, and they go down to zones 3. Really, really nice blue color on these evergreens. Okay, and then the last 3 shrubs I have are summer wine 9 barks, and 2 of them are this summer wine black 9 bark. Beautiful dark foliage, really love this one. And then of course the summer wine 9 bark original that isn't as black, and of course it's a little bit more red with that wine tone, just like it's named. So summer wine 9 barks get to be about 2.4 meters tall and wide, which if I'm estimating right, maybe 8 to 9 feet tall and wide. quite a large shrub. And then for the summer wine 9 bark, it is just slightly smaller, maybe 5 to 6 feet tall and wide. Zones 3 to 7 for both of these 9 barks. So you can see I've got a lot of different textures and colors. Really excited to get these new gardens started. So let me show you where I am planning on planting all of these plants. Okay, you might need to use your imagination for this, but you can see my greenhouse is just there behind me. And then we have a new garden planned for this area here. We had some soil delivered here. We have some logs that we have from a tree that we took down that I'm going to use to sort of retain the backside of this garden bed because we're on a bit of a slope. But I'm just imagining those beautiful different evergreen colors and shapes and textures in that garden planted on this side here, just to sort of give a nice backdrop or side drop, if you will, to the greenhouse. Really excited just to make this area a little bit more beautiful, a little bit more me. Right now it's just in the middle of construction. We have things everywhere, and I'm just so looking forward to creating a new garden in this space. So let me know if you can sort of imagine what I'm thinking here. Just the different textures of that evergreen mixed border with, of course, some more perennials in the front. I think it's going to be beautiful. I'll be mimicking the rock wall on the other side of the garden on this side as well, just to give it that sort of continuing theme. Really looking forward to getting this garden underway. Our temperatures are pretty mild, so I'm thinking it's going to be great to plug in some of these plants before winter comes. Now, if you needed to use your imagination for the last area we were just in, you're definitely going to need to use it for here. So this area is very raw. Nothing is here, but I've been working in the last sort of week or two just to reclaim this space. So the area that I'm standing in right here is between 2 fence panels. This was our compost. So I was digging out years and years of old compost, making new garden beds, sort of terracing the area behind me. You can see it's definitely a work in progress. So we've got landscape fabric for the pathways. I have gravel down here. And what I'm envisioning is this beautiful sort of like little arbor bench moment right here at the beginning, utilizing these fence posts. And then the gravel pathway will sort of take a circular loop, and it will just be a lush shrub, tree, perennial, sort of mixed border, and just a very almost secret garden feel to this area. So you can see behind me those T-posts right there. That's our sort of chicken extension yard. We sort of feel bad that we can't always let them free range when it doesn't work, so they've got sort of a backup area where they can kind of get their gym and exercise time. But it's very unsightly, and I don't really love the look of it. Plus, in the summer months when it's really warm, I really want some more shade coverage for them in that area. So I'm thinking deciduous trees will be perfect because they will allow for shade in the hot summer months. But of course, in the winter and fall months when it's cooler and the chickens want more heat, the leaves will be dropping and they will have a little bit more sunshine in the months that they need. So anyway, I know this is tough to imagine, but some of the shrubs will be going in this area too. Well, thank you for joining me with my shrub haul. I hope it was exciting for you. I hope it's inspiring. Maybe check out some of your local nurseries to see if they've got some end of season sales going on as well. And also let me know what you think about the 2 garden spaces that are coming. I'm really excited. Let me know if you've snagged some garden sales at your local garden centers. It's really exciting to hear about all the deals to be found at this time of year. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.